And this is Wardell Richardson from WCEG Wood, Hollywood of the South, and Spotlight with Ezzy B. What's going on? I am here today with the creator, the director, everything under the sun she has done in this project, Omega Keys. How are you?
I'm good.
Man,
I'm excited.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, we got a nice little crowd here. Surviving America. With everything that's going on, what was the idea behind this whole project?
The idea was to showcase how every single day Black people have to survive in America.
She's Mimi to me. It's Mimi Keys. But before I give her good night, there are two people also in the room that I really just want to say thank you now, so I do not forget. And if I forget anyone, just know it is not on purpose. But
thank you.
I would like to definitely thank the entire crew that we had working on this project. Our DP, Boise Lee, he's working today. So my sister and everything, Miss Shantae, who's always around, and Vicky, who's somewhere around working. And then we have Dylan, who's always here with us working as well. So thank you guys. And I want to also give a shout out. I know he's not expecting this. Mr. Jamal Jordan, raise your hand. So Jamal is our Congress Studios, where our office is and where we shot this project. So we definitely want to give honor to him and thank him for working with us and allow us to be in that space for multiple projects. So definitely, if you guys have projects or need it, visit us at Timeless Studios.
I just want to thank everybody for showing up and supporting us, because this was a labor of love to do. And thank the cast, crew, and Timeless Studios again. I'm so thankful. I'm a bit overwhelmed right now because, the room is full. It was hard to find seatings toward the end, so thank y'all.
All right, Mr. Ezzy, you're up.
All right, so you guys are ready to have those questions asked and get involved in this conversation? Because I'm sure we all have experienced some type of racial discrimination, some racial attention, some racial something in our lives. I know I have, and I'm pretty sure we all are sick, we're tired, and we're upset, we're fed up about the way Black people have been treated in this country. Would you agree? Mr. Wardell is going to start with the questions on the floor. Feel free to raise your hands so that way you can bring the microphone to you, because the entire production is being recorded. Any questions on the floor?
I want to know, by the way, my name is Jada Longchamp. I just wanted to know, what are we doing as a collective? What are we doing as a collective to get the reparations that we know we deserve?
Well, currently, as you know, HR 40 passed out of committee, which is the committee to study reparations, that will be going to the House floor. I've been directly in contact with my elected officials, both on the House side and the Senate side, to stress that we need more than just a committee. We need to actually start putting legislation together. So personally, with the NAACP, we are in those direct talks, but we are supportive of any and every group that is pushing this, because I think that the repair of our people is a necessity. Many of you guys know we were outside, and a couple of the activists are here currently. We were outside for 30 days, almost 31 days, fighting SB 202, which is the ugly stepchild of House Bill 531 and Senate Bill 241. And so anybody that lives in Georgia understands that our governor has been putting misinformation out there for a long time about the voter suppression bill that passed. And I think one of the things that we have to always be reminded of is how precious our voting rights are. Because if they take away your voting rights, they will kill you and then justify it, because you have no power. The vote is your power. Again, what happened up in Minnesota is happening here. This is not anything new. Police brutality, voter suppression, it's all happening, and it's all happening because we are witnessing the death rattle of white supremacy. And so they are lashing out, and we need all forces to come together. It's not just about reparations. It's not just about ending brutality. It's not just about ending oppression. It's about ending all things white supremacy. And before I pass the mic, I want to say this. This film should be trending. So everyone in here needs to take out their cell phone and start using the hashtag on all their social platforms. That's how the movement works. That's how you get the attention of the broader audience that is out in the community, not really realizing what's happening in real time, and that's how we can organize and ultimately win in this movement.
How many of you guys have hashtag? How many of you have even watched the film since it's been out? How many of you have just told someone else about the film? These are all things that we can do because we do support so many other things. And then you wonder what can be done. It starts with you.
The hashtag is Surviving America. Surviving America 2020. And make sure you follow on Instagram Surviving America 2020 as well. Mr. Hill.
My name is Jimmy Hill. This is my son, Jimmy X. On January the 27th, 2019, 8 days before the Super Bowl here in Atlanta, my son was unarmed and surrendered, on his knees, get shot and killed by former Atlanta police officer Sean Kim, who Atlanta Mayor Keisha Bottoms allowed to resign, who is now doing surveillance work for the federal government. My son wasn't perfect. So I just wanted to say we're going to keep fighting, and something I always keep with me, because I understand now that freedom is never given, freedom is won. And we're going to keep fighting. I just wanted to thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Give Mr. Hill a round of applause. Mr. Berlocker, go ahead.
But what gets me is, it's always, I thought they had a gun and it was a bag of Skittles. I thought they had a gun and it was a cell phone. That's not really it. When they look at us, our skin tone, our blackness is the weapon that they see. And immediately they're afraid because they see our blackness. That's crazy. They see a black man or even a black woman, and that's the weapon. Immediately, they have to draw theirs because they see the black skin, and we are weaponized by that. That's got to change. Somehow that's got to change, and we got to have those discussions with our kids.
Let's get this question back here first. He's been studying for a long time.
Hey everybody, thank you. The documentary discussed a lot about surviving America. So what I would like to ask you is, and it's open to everybody on that, what does thriving in America look like for black people, and what will it take, in your opinion, to get there?
Well, I think thriving in America is to truly highlight the greatness of black people, how we have achieved. I mean, even in Atlanta, the Black Mecca, we have achieved, and we need to highlight that. But we also need to teach our children the real history.
But to respond back to you, sir, sorry is not even a word that we can use because you lost your son. There's a replacement. There's a hole that will never be filled. And when I hear a story like that, and I watch this on TV, like all black families inside here, you have to always ask yourself, could it be your son? Because at the end of the day, if the blackness is the target, then at what point are we safe from what the possibilities can happen outside? And I struggle with this a lot because we don't support like independent production like this enough. We want to look at the power because I like a drama, a lot of killing. But that's just the problem, because the Jewish community, let me just be fair, the Jewish community, they pour money behind those productions because it helped to suppress our very image of who we are to be a people. And so when all we see on telly is a black man, and of course, you know, we are strong, we are empowered, mentally, emotionally, right? We are well built, right? So at the end of the day, is when we go out and we're watching all these action movies, these are some bold, big black men. So immediately, in the eyes of the police officers and how they've set it up, we're already intimidated. They're already intimidated by us, and that's the image we are being. They're sold every day, and so it's already, the narrative already set up. It's already put in place. So what we need to do as a community is start to change the narrative. We have to put a lot more positivity from our community in the marketplace, and then we have to support it. We can't just support the drama and the gossip and all the things that, you know, just continue to spread like wildfire. A production like this is not hitting the airwave yet, but I guarantee you that movie coming out with Michael B. Jordan, No More Remorse, it's already hitting I mean, there's a lot of us that can't wait for it to hit Netflix on April 30th.
But I got a question for you though. Do you really think that the police are really and truly intimidated by us, or they just feel like black people are just weak and they can just take advantage of?
Oh, no, they don't think we're weak. That's just a problem. I think the fact is, you know, we are, especially think about alpha male. If you're an alpha male mentality, you're confident about who you are. I think black people are super confident about who they are. There's no question about that. I don't think there's a question about that. I think where the problem comes in is they see us as a threat to supersede them. And now that we present that threat, they have to take care of that threat by any means necessary.
Okay, all right, let's go back to the floor. We got another question here.
Well, I want to say something else. My original comment was to get involved, like Attorney Griggs was saying, join some of the protests, some of the groups that are on the ground doing things, but also find out who your local leaders are. And I found out that one of the Congress guys that keeps getting, one of the Georgia reps that keeps getting re-elected from my district that I grew up in, went to high school in Carroll County, I found out that he's been running uncontested. He's been getting the seat, just giving it to him. So we got to get in positions where we can take those seats.
The ink wasn't even dry when Raphael Warnock and Ossoff won their Senate seats, and the Republicans were already plotting and planning who they were going to try to put in. Warnock has to run again next year. So they're already talking, they're talking about Herschel Walker. And the strategy is, let's put a black man against a black man. You know, and they think we're stupid enough to vote for him just because he played football here in Georgia. You know, Vernon Jones is talking about running for governor. Trump already wants Kemp out, but if Stacey decides to run again, let's put a black man against this black. You see the strategy? They're trying to divide us. So we have to do our due diligence and make sure we put the people in office that need to be there, that represent us.
Got another question?
Yeah, I had a comment and also a question. I'm from DC, so y'all talk about Black Mecca. DC was Chocolate City way back in the day. But what do we do for young people? My grandkids look at me cross-eyed when I start talking about black movements.
Hey, that's a great question, by the way. I think that the biggest thing we have to do, I work with kids primarily, right? Because I'm kind of right in the middle where I can still bridge that gap. I think number one, we have to start listening to our kids and see why there's a disconnect between what we tell them and what they take up. That's number one. Secondly, we need to be the example, because more is caught than taught. We can teach all day about what we want them to do, but they're going to mimic and mirror what they see us doing.
I think that our kids don't take it as serious as they should, because I'm in a house with 3 boys. I have 3 boys, and I have the conversation about police brutality every single day, okay? So they don't look at the videos and the hashtags as our people are getting killed. They don't understand and they don't take it seriously. So I'm trying to figure out as well how to bridge that gap, because I work with kids as well.
We have to meet them where they're at. She wasn't interested until she saw me, and then that became a conversation for her and her friends. So we have to start integrating them in that way. And sometimes you trying to push them to do it, it's not gonna work. And that's
Absolutely. Based on what you see with the police and how they treat black people, black kids like yourself, how do you feel about that, and what do you think should be done to prevent that from happening in the future?
My mom told me at a very young age, and I knew what my skin was. I've dealt with racism, but I don't let it affect me, but I feel like I will be there to take a stand. I am afraid. If the police pull me over, I'm going to be scared out of my life.
But like you said, that's real. Where not only people your age, but even my age. That's, I hate to say it, but that's a fear. That if we get pulled over, it's not a matter of, okay, I'm going to let you go. You're going to jail. You know, it's a very good, real chance of that. You know, but something's got to change.
But I got a question for everyone right now. Do you guys feel like the climate has been changed after President Trump became the president?
I would say definitely the climate did change after Trump. We knew he was a racist when I was in New York, and we had just got finished dealing with Al Sharpton with the whole stop and frisk situation.
I experienced that.
That was a big as well.
So, to the question of if things ramped up after Trump was in office, I don't think they did. I just think folks, Trump being in office was like white America's version of drinking liquid courage, right? You run up on that guy Zeus, you have a couple of drinks, and now all of a sudden you feel like you can take Zeus. Well, Trump coming in office really just exposed a lot of the things that were already taking place that were dormant behind the closed doors. So, but we also have to keep this in mind too. When you look at things that are taking place in our communities, we can't just march, we can't just riot or peaceful protest when it's a cop killing a black youth. I think we have to keep that same energy in our communities, because the first thing we have to police is police our communities. If we're not consistently policing our communities, we're basically giving them the rite of passage that if we don't respect one another, then it's okay for them to disrespect us. And then when they disrespect us and then we have something to say, we've been consistently inconsistent. If we're consistently inconsistent with how I respect my brother, why should I expect some Caucasian, some white guy from Appalachia to respect me more than I should respect him? It has to start with us. Some parents are sending their kids to school to be raised and not to be taught and educated. That should be an extension of the foundation that we give them at home.
Can I add to that real quick? And it's in regards to the question the brother asked earlier about what's the solution, right? It goes back to accountability. It goes back to personal accountability once again. And like the brother here said, if you remember through the documentary, I kept referencing my town at Atlantic Beach. And I kept saying that it was a historically black town, that we had our own governor, our own mayor, our own police chief. All of them were black. I didn't understand the impact of that until I moved out of that community. But even back then, we didn't allow the citizens in our town to be policed by someone outside of our town because we knew that they weren't for us. I think that it starts with watching documentaries like this and showing our kids this, so that they, at a young age, so they'll know what they're quote unquote up against and know how to move. I don't think that we should be so quick to depend on the historical oppressors to give us justice. I think we need to take that amongst ourselves.
So a lot of the stuff we're dealing with our kids, they're out, they're doing things. We have to take responsibility as parents and teach our kids better so they know better. You know, we have to at least do our part, you know, first.
Hey, okay, let's put it this way. Why is it that black people don't ever make the mistake of mistaking a taser for a gun? Why don't we ever make that mistake?
That part.
Why is it? Because I was a cop in the military. I carried a gun, I carried a 9mm, a rifle, and a taser every day for 6 years.
Never confused.
And never got confused by the taser and the gun. So why is it that we don't make that mistake? When they start running away, they get shot? Or why is it white folks are not getting choked to death and then, oh, you can breathe, shut up? Why is that? It's because the police were never created to protect us. They were created to keep us in control. This is part of that mentality that Donald Trump helped to accelerate and to bring into manifestation of returning us back to the Jim Crow ways in which we find our place. Nigga, get back in your place. You're getting too smart. You're getting too big. Get your ass back down. So that's why I don't want their apologies, because it's done deliberately. It is deliberate. So anyway, I'll leave it there.
So we only got a few minutes left. I'm gonna let Jesse say something.
Oh, okay. It's hard to follow that. There's a lot of SAT words. Now, imagine being 19, 20 years old, somebody saying, I don't know, you're just too smart. I didn't get it. I got older and I realized there's different type of men. Being a black man in America, there's two types of men to America. You're either smiling, nodding your head, yes sir, no sir, whatever you need sir, I got you sir. And then there's the guy that says, hey, excuse me, that square don't fit, that round peg don't fit in that square hole. You can't be black guy and that guy in the military. I got out the military thinking, you know what, I'm tripping. That was just the military. My dad was like, that's not the military I was in. I got out into the world and I realized real quick, no, that's the world. The thing about us as Americans in this country, we've been given a bill of goods that we haven't been able to cash in. And that's mainly because we've been given an idea that being black somehow is less than. We look at each other that way. We look at our brothers and sisters in Nigeria, Cuba, Haiti, England, etc., etc., etc. that way. So again, I mean, I'm glad to be on here, and it's like I said, I learned very fast that the only how to build and thrive here is together.
I mean, with everything that we've experienced, everything that we've seen in 2020, for example, I still wasn't denying myself until I got denied for a job that I was highly qualified for because of this. I didn't see that coming ever.
My level of frustration is not with my people. Y'all are doing everything y'all know how. We tell you to vote, you go vote. We tell you to be law-abiding citizens, you be law-abiding citizens. We tell you to serve on juries. Some of y'all serve on juries, need more of y'all to serve on juries. We tell you to do all these things, and then you got a sheriff that gets on there and makes excuses for the Spa killings. You got a sheriff in Elizabeth City that's making excuses about releasing these tapes. You got DAs that get on TV and misquote the law and tell you the system doesn't work that way when we just saw it work that way in Hennepin County. So I think the saving grace and what we got to do now, and I said it in the film, we voted. That was awesome. We elected a new president. We elected a new Senate. We got to hold these folk accountable. The same way we held Donald J. Trump accountable, we got to hold Joseph R. Biden and Kamala accountable.
Absolutely.
When are you going to sign an executive order empowering the Obama 21st Century Policing Initiative, which is the solution? After Mike Brown and after Ferguson burned, they convened a commission to come up with 94 recommendations. We don't need any more panels. We don't need any more task force. We don't need more conversations. We don't need any more police chiefs on Don Lemon giving their editorialism. We need real change, and we need it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the cast, the crew, the producers. Give it up for Surviving America. If you enjoy the film, make sure you share it. Hashtag it, Surviving America 2020. Don't forget to follow. And of course, if you have any follow-up conversations, you can post those questions on the Instagram page at Surviving America 2020. And of course, thank you guys. Flowers. There you go. Sorry I'm giving you my bags. Thank you. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. And don't forget to share, watch it. It's available right now on Amazon Video. Okay, so make sure you share it with your friends, your family members, and everyone else, because guess what? We all need to see this documentary called Surviving America. Thank you.